Almost 20 years ago, the first Photics book was published. The name Revisions is fitting, as I've kept updating it throughout the years. It's been in print, as a PDF, as an app, and now an ebook. This video is about that last one. How do you make an ebook? Well, for a while I was using the wrong software. Apple had an application called iBooks Author. It was able to create interactive ebooks, but they were limited to Apple devices with the Books app. That hindered the success of the interactive stencil textbook. And eventually, Apple discontinued iBooks Author. They recommended the Pages app for creating ebooks. Yet that option is somewhat limited. Specifically, Pages exports to the more common EPUB format, which is basically a self-contained website. This becomes quite apparent by editing the exported file. There are XHTML files all over the place, but when you look at the code, what was created from Pages can be a little messy. There are unnecessary tags, classes, and even embedded fonts. I don't want that. That's why this alternative app is quite good. It's called Calibre. I had to check the pronunciation before creating this video because I was calling it Calibre, like mucho caliente. The app is open source software, which is nice. However, the app can be quite technical. Basically, it's cross-platform software for managing ebooks. That means you can read, edit, or even create ebooks with Calibre. Although, without a WYSIWYG editor, the app leans more towards a programming app rather than a writing app. Yet, that's what I like. With Calibre, I was able to clean up revisions. I was also able to get the book to be more like what I imagined back in 2005. The links actually work. And depending on the EPUB reader, scoring works too. That's the downside with the EPUB format. It can be difficult to impossible to replicate the same experience across different devices, or even different e-readers on the same device. I think that's why we haven't seen an explosion of interactive ebooks. But I was able to add custom JavaScript and my own styles. Looking at Calibre from the perspective of a web developer and web designer, it's powerful software. It's what I'm using as an alternative to iBooks Author. Look here, I'll show it to you. By using header tags, I was able to build a table of contents. Isn't that nice? That's one of the main features of an ebook. By properly planning a book's outline, creating a table of contents is easy. And if there are minor corrections to be made, Calibre can manage that. Also, with a click of a button, I could add curly quotes. The smartening punctuation feature worked well, and even if that action would have messed up, Calibre showed me exactly what it changed. This is a great way to edit dozens of files in an instant. The regex-powered Find and Replace is another perfect example of that. Apparently, there was an error in my book. The ID names of HTML elements shouldn't start with a digit. No problem, I don't need those IDs. I just used Calibre to remove them from the book. I didn't have to scroll through more than 100 files. Some basic regex knowledge solved the problem. Calibre is also a great way to check an EPUB for technical errors. That's how I learned about the problem with IDs. Fixing those errors is important when uploading an ebook to Lulu. That's the company I use for self-publishing my books. I've tried lots of other e-commerce solutions, but I keep coming back to Lulu. They handle the tedious stuff, so I can focus more on making books. While most people probably won't get rich through self-publishing, a small percentage can earn a decent living by creating books. That's the plan for Photics. An overwhelming majority of you wanted to see a book about making video games. So that's the next big project. If you've been thinking of creating your own book, this is a way to get that done. The Calibre Lulu combo solves a lot of problems.